time to start the video. It's time to start the video. It's movie meal time!
What's up?
Hello! Hello! I got mac and cheese. Look at that, it's steaming.
Got me a sandwich. I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
That he's got half a sandwich.
I'm gonna eat the whole thing anyway.
We're here. We're here for our Man of Steel review, Batman v Superman discussion. Right, Kyle?
Yeah, that's what we're doing, Alex.
For the folks at home, one of our roommates is just over there, and he's making noise and dropping like mac and cheese everywhere.
Sorry about that distraction, guys. Anyway,
Some people's kids. Alright, so we just watched Man of Steel. We just got done. We took notes. We're ready to talk about it. We're going to go over the good, the bad, why we love this movie, why you should love it, and why we... You know, Kyle, film is subjective. It's all opinionated. If a movie you love, most people hate, or most people love a movie that you hate... That's the best thing about movies, my man.
we get to talk about why we like or dislike these movies.
It's the best thing. If something can impact you differently than it impacts me, that's the best thing about movies.
All opinion.
But we completely disagree, and you're all nuts for not liking Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We love Man of Steel, and we're going to talk about it. So,
The good, the bad, and
the ugly.
the Batman v Superman.
Let's talk about the bad first. Let's address that. And I'm going to
Get it all out of the way.
I'm going to go first since you went first last video we made.
Alright, sounds good.
I love me some mac and cheese. So, some of the bad things, we just got done watching this movie. There are bad things in this movie, Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
There are reasons to not like this movie. But I'm going to tell you right now, the building blowing up, the buildings, them flying through buildings, is not one of the reasons to not like this movie. I'm telling you right now. Some of the things I don't like about the movie, it's got a little bit too much product placement. It's a little bit too obvious. The IHOP thing, I actually think is kind of funny. But I mean, when she puts the Nikon camera, and the camera just looks at that camera for like a solid 5 seconds that it doesn't need to.
Yep.
That's product placement that I don't like.
Takes you out.
It's a little Transformer-y. That's not a word. But it's a Michael Bay Transformers movie.
So that's fair. Yeah.
That's something that I don't like, and I like Zack Snyder's movies. I love 300. I'm not a big fan of Watchmen personally, but I love what he does, like how he makes the film look, and he makes it look great. But sometimes that means the script lacks a little bit, and so to me, some of the lines I don't like very much. Some of the lines I actually love. Some I don't like very much, and it's not the best script in the world. And the other big thing that really bothers me about this movie is the pacing. It's very like, oh, Lois just showed up, and here's Lois Lane, or now they're here, now they're there. Look, we're just making the story move along. And that's not what you really want in a cohesive story. You want it to flow very well where you don't notice it. But at the same time, it doesn't bother me because I'm so immersed in the world, the viewing, and I love the acting in it. So those are a few things that, personally I don't like about the movie, but that doesn't make it a bad movie. Kyle, what do you got? What's your negatives?
Things that I agree with you on the bad is, there's lots of product placement. Get that out of the way. Destruction is definitely something that needs to be addressed. I don't mind the destruction. It makes sense when you have someone as powerful as Superman go up against that same level of abilities that he possesses. And that makes sense to me why there's so much destruction, as well as the aliens having all this weaponry to destroy half of Metropolis. That all makes sense to me. I just feel like that in the script they could have had Superman maybe get out of the city and fight somewhere else, so that way there isn't as much. But I mean that it doesn't bother me that much anyway, too badly. And there's a lot of stuff with the script that's a little wonky. Some lines aren't really written that well. I mean, one of the tipping points for me when figuring out about the script was the scene with the general and the one woman
At the end of the movie?
in the one woman sergeant where she goes, he's kind of hot at the end, and it's just so painfully bad that you have to address it. It's not good. Like, even we were saying in the movie that it's not something that's not a good line at all. There was a lot of convenient moments in this movie. I think there was convenient whenever Lois was able to show up or was ever able to piece together who Superman was or where he was at. Some of the things that Superman was able to when showing up at the right moment was a little too convenient for me as well. So that was a little bit of tricky parts. I remember we had a little bit of disagreement on whether the tornado scene was good.
You want to address that now?
We might
you
as
want
well.
to address it? All right, let's address it.
It's in your bad segment, or it should be, and I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. But here's the thing, all right? We got two Robin Hood dads. We've got Kevin Costner's Robin Hood dad. That's what I'm calling him because they both played Robin Hood in different movies. And then we've got Russell Crowe. And they both tell him in the movie to do different things. But that scene where the tornado touches down and Kevin Costner's like, no, let me die. Because we cannot expose that you're Superman. Is lame. Superman should have been like, no, screw you, Dad. Float in there, did superhero stuff, got in there, and got his dad out. That's what I would have done. I ain't gonna let my dad die for the greater good of mankind. No, sir. So that's why I don't like it.
That's fair. It makes sense to me why that scene was in there. It's Pa Kent's nature. He was thinking about his son and what he wants best for his son. He doesn't want his son kind of getting exposed and being treated as like someone different per se. He wants his son to have the best life he can. It makes sense to me why he would stop his son from saving him.
It's fair. I just don't like it.
So to me that's why that scene made sense. Not so much about the tornado scene itself, but just how Pa Kent reacted in that situation, how Clark had to go about dealing with that. That's what made sense to me about the scene.
And I understand your point. I do. I don't know. If I was Clark, I would have ran in there and saved my pa. I would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more negatives you want to talk about?
There was a lot of weird transitions between scenes, I think, and I think that also, like we said earlier, was part of the weird jarring of the pacing. So that was one of my negatives as well. Also, another scene that I didn't really like so much was the church scene. I didn't mind.
All right, let's dance again, young blood.
The writing wasn't bad in that. I was fine with the writing in the church scene. What bothered me, not bothered me, but what I didn't feel was necessary was the conversation between a priest and Clark Kent. I think it could have been between, I don't know, a different character, maybe Lois, maybe Ma Kent, maybe even Jor-El could have been. That could have been the conversation they had between. I just don't see the need for it to be with the priest per se.
Here's what I saw. This is a young kid who grew up in Kansas, man. He grew up in Smallville. Both of his dads are dead. And he can talk to one, but he already has a conversation with his mother about it. They're sitting on the deck having a conversation on the porch. Mm-hmm. They talk about it. He's talking about it, and when this happens, he's already talked to multiple people. He's talked to Lois about it and said, hey, I can't expose myself. You have to keep me quiet because the world is not ready. Talks to his mom about it, talks to this. All of a sudden, aliens show up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. What do you do? Do you just say, Mom, what do I do? And explain everything? No, you gotta. He's a small boy who grew up in Kansas. He probably went to church with his parents. He's saying, hey, let's go talk to somebody who's a neutral. Somebody I don't know. Somebody who I can say, I'm the guy they're looking for. And he's going to, try and give me advice. And I love the advice he gives. What does he say? He says, they have a conversation. And the priest, you can tell, is nervous. He's like, I want to give this man up. I want to protect myself. I want to protect others. I want to do this. And they have a conversation. And he tells him, I don't know what to do. And the priest says, sometimes you gotta take a leap of faith first, and the trust comes later, because Clark isn't sure whether he's gonna he doesn't know what Zod's here to do yet. He just knows Zod wants to talk to him, but he's threatening to blow up the planet if he doesn't, and I like that. It's going to like a neutral party, but that's why I love it. He talks to this guy, completely neutral, mm-hmm. who is supposed to give out advice on what to do and what the right thing to do is, and that helps him figure out what to do, and to not let them take over the planet and rebuild Krypton, and to let the humans live. Because Krypton had their chance, man. That's why I
Okay.
love that scene.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Anything else that you wanted to add? Any bad things?
No, that's about it. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about the good things. Because we're also going to address some of the bad things we have heard people complain about. And I'm going to get right to it, Kyle. We're getting right to it.
Okay, let's hear it.
We have many friends. Okay, it's just the two of us. But we are pretend friends. And we have conversations. And we've talked about Man of Steel, and only a few of our close friends like this movie, including us. Most people don't like this movie. It's got like a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's completely divided. Most of our friends tell us they do not like this movie. And their reasons, I don't like. Do you like their reasons?
No,
I don't like their we don't like the reasons. Every time we talk to people about this movie, this is what they say. We don't like Superman because he's not jolly. we don't like Superman because he's not saving cats out of trees. We don't like this movie because he's blowing up Metropolis. Those are not valid. It's time for this era of campy. The old Christopher Reeve movies are great, my man.
Yeah.
They're great.
Well, 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, that's fair.
1 and 2 are.
It is time to move on
Do something
and
different.
do something different with this character, and we get to see that in this movie.
And the tone is one of the things that I think is a good thing about this movie. It's different, and it gives you a different aspect on how Superman can be portrayed, but at the same time keeping with what Superman stands for.
Exactly. And I can't... Alright, it's all opinionated, I get it.
But we're
I get
right.
it. But come on. Come on. These are the same people that are pushing their nerd glasses up and they're going, The Dark Knight was great because it was realistic. And it made a bunch of money. Warner Brothers owns the rights to Superman and Batman. And if all the people are flocking to a dark, gritty, toned up superhero Batman movie, what are they going to do? They're going to say, hey, should we copy Marvel? No! This is what the people want. It got Oscar wins and nominations for like Heath Ledger and stuff. The Warner Brothers is saying this makes money and it's different. Let's do it with another iconic character in Superman, and now they're doing it with the entire Justice League. We already know we've got Aquaman coming, we've got Wonder Woman coming, we've got the Flash coming, Green Lantern Corps is coming. I want that dark and gritty, man. I like seeing these layers of these characters. I don't want Superman wearing his old. I love the old school costume. But
red underwear and
come
saving
on.
cats.
It's 2016. Do we really want him going saving cats up a tree with no, we want to see the dark layers behind this man who finds out he's a hero and he doesn't even belong on this planet, but he loves the planet, man. Got anything on that? I'm sorry, I got on a little bit of a rant.
I think you needed to let that out, so that's totally okay. No, I agree with you. I think it's time for a change on how to portray Superman. I think this is a good avenue to take it. People, I just don't think people are used to seeing Superman in that avenue, but I think once they start seeing more movies with him with his tone, I think people can start to understand that and hopefully be able to enjoy these movies a little more. And what you were saying about all the destruction is due to the action, and I think the action is another plus.
I love the action,
about
man.
This movie.
Zack Snyder knows how to direct
all
action.
All of the combat scenes, all of the fist fighting scenes, all of the flying scenes, all of the action that was going on between all of the maybe a little too much destruction, but that's what made it fun to watch. That's one of the big reasons why I love it so much, is that because we're not getting lame flying scenes, or not lame, more like I feel like the action is definitely a plus because it's so much fun to watch. You feel like you're there, right up in it, and you feel like it's just so much fun, and it's just so greatly shot too, and I just can't help but appreciate how well done those scenes were.
Here's another thing we should address on this, is the destruction of Metropolis. All right, I made a effort in this movie. I've seen this movie many times. I made an effort to notice exactly how long he finds out about his past, who he is, why he has these powers, from when Zod shows up. And literally, this is what happens.
This ought to be good.
He finds the ship, flies away, talks to Space Dad. He then learns to jump really high. Then he learns to fly. Then the same day, he talks to Lois at his dad's grave after he's learned to do all this. says, "Don't expose me." Then he talks to mom. Then the next night happens. The next night, he hasn't done anything but drink a Budweiser and talk with his mom. The next night happens, and all of a sudden aliens have invaded the planet. And they are threatening to attack if they do not get Clark Kent. Well, I can't stand that complaint of, hey, he just blew up buildings. He's Superman. He should know better. He just recently became Superman yesterday. Give the man some time. Batman's had years under his belt to beat people up. Superman had a day. Getting heated.
Oh, jeez.
It's getting real in the field.
No, I totally, and that's one of the things that I tell people too, is that he doesn't have much time to really prepare, to really know, like, the limitations of his powers. And with with everyone that he's fighting, and with everyone that he has to save, he really can't think too much about saving that many people, where he's already trying to save the world already. It's just so much to take in for your first fight, especially with the amount of power that he has and that he just was able to understand. So I absolutely agree that what your rant is about.
Sorry, I'm reaching for something. I can't handle it, man. I just can't handle that. Come on, he's been Superman for a day. 2 days, man. Zod shows up, and we even discussed, we said to each other while we were watching the movie, the writers could have said, hey, Superman realizes he's destroyed most of the city, he tries to lead Zod outside the city, but they just didn't. The writers said, no, we want him to stay in the city, and Zack Snyder wanted it, and that's fine. That was an artistic choice they made, and by making it, it turned out well. You may disagree that was the choice they should or should not have done, but that's the way they went, and at least they chose to go away and executed it a good way.
Plus,
by having them blow up buildings.
Plus, we are definitely going to see what the price to pay was in Batman v Superman. That's definitely going to be one of the heavy topics in this movie. So with everyone that is questioning about this, I almost guarantee that they will talk about this and have this straightened out, and you will be at least a little bit.
Just in the trailers alone, we see Batman, we see Ben Affleck watch this happen. We get to see people on the ground as Batman running into the buildings falling over to try and save his people, because he's got employees, friends working at Wayne Enterprise. We know that the Batman in Batman v Superman is an older Batman. He's retired. He hasn't done much. He's been focusing on his Wayne Enterprise. And so he's made friends. He's got friends in that building, and it comes crashing down. And then but you're also Batman. What are you gonna do? You want to stop this person. This is a great segue into a Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice movie. Is him ticked off that this guy it's Batman. Batman is always prepared, even against his friends. He has the way to beat them.
Yeah.
And he knows Superman has the ability to destroy everything. And he says in the trailer,
he has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and it's their job to destroy him. Sorry, I might have rehearsed that.
He says that. He says if we believe there's a 1% chance or something like that, we have to take it as an absolute certainty that he's our enemy. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a Batman, and that is a great segue into this Batman and Superman character. We got a Superman who just killed someone to protect the race he is now calling family, the humans, the Earthlings. Those are now his family in a sense, and he killed Zod to protect them.
And that's I can't believe we haven't gone to that already until just now.
Hit it.
When I was in the theater and I was watching Superman pin down Zod, and Zod's heat vision is about to hit that family, I was thinking, well, the most likely scenario would be that if it was anyone else, that Zod would probably be killed after this. Like, Superman would probably kill him. But I was thinking, no, it's not Superman. Superman doesn't do that. And then the next snapping happened. My jaw dropped probably for a solid 5-10 seconds. But surprisingly, in my head, I was okay with it. Like, at first I didn't think I would, but thinking about it more, I was like, you know what? That makes the most sense. Do we think that about Superman? No, we definitely don't. But that's also... That's going back to what we were saying earlier, is that this is a different tone. This is a different kind of Superman movie where if all these things are stacked up against you and you don't have any other option to take, you might have to take the least favorite and have to do something that has to go as far as to
Exactly.
kill someone. Plus, if they did,
Exactly.
if even if Zod was stopped, how are you gonna take away his powers? You can't take away his powers. I mean, unless if they have kryptonite.
Next movie, Kyle. Next movie.
Right. I'm getting ahead of myself. But
10 days from now, we'll get it.
But no, I mean, besides kryptonite, like, you really can't stop someone. You can't stop a Kryptonian like that. So the most logical sense of what Superman had to do, and we see in the movie that he later regrets, that he had to kill Zod, and that was one of the good things about this movie
Here's
that
the
I
thing.
enjoyed. Unlike
Here's
some
the
people,
thing,
which
too.
is fine.
He fights-
It makes sense to me.
He fights Zod. The whole movie's blowing through buildings and stuff like that. He's focused on Zod, man. He's got that tunnel vision of, I gotta beat this guy. And it isn't until he realizes Zod's about to kill that family that he's just killed people. And that's not good for Superman. We've seen that in the Batman v Superman trailers. They've shown little snippets of him talking to his mom and talking to other people, saying he does not sure what's right and stuff. And when he screams at the end of that movie, I like that because it's him realizing everything he's just done.
Mm-hmm.
He was tunnel visioned, and now his eyes are clear. And Superman is realizing everything, and that he can't do that anymore. And it's a perfect segue into a movie where it's coming in 10 days, man. Into a movie where we're gonna get a grizzled, older Batman who just kicks Gluteus Maximus all over, and he will stop at nothing to stop Superman, and then we're gonna see them fight Doomsday, man. We're gonna have to see them combine forces for the Justice League. It's gonna be awesome.
And going back to that final scene, it shows like how good that the writing could be when you have scenes like that. But then when you go on to the next scene and having the he's kind of hot scene at the end, it's just that going back to it, it's just one of the bad things about that movie where you have these good moments, but then you go back and there's not that many good lines, and it's frustrating, really. But
That's part of the reason Ben Affleck was brought in to be Batman.
Oh,
it was
probably.
not just because he looks like a fantastic Batman, but it's because
and a good actor on top of that.
Yeah.
He has become a really
But
good actor.
it's because he's got an Oscar on his mantle for winning Best Picture for Argo.
And won an Oscar for best writing, right? Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was long ago. Long ago, man.
True,
but he's a good
still-
good writer,
Yeah.
and they brought
Good writer,
the
good
writer.
director.
Him and another guy wrote Argo together.
Brought them
They
into-
brought that writer onto Batman versus Superman. And there are rumors going around that Ben Affleck had changed, not a lot, but many of the dialogue that Batman said, saying to Zack Snyder, hey, I don't think Batman would say this. And Zack Snyder, this is why I love Zack Snyder. He's the type of director who says, oh yeah, no, I completely will I'll do style over substance all the time. I love the visual aspect. But he's saying, oh, you have a better line? Oh, that's way better. Put it in the movie,
He
man.
likes
It's a
the
collaborative effort.
Yeah, he likes the collaboration.
Boom.
That's one of the reasons why I like Zack Snyder, is because he's willing to collaborate with people to make a good movie, and I think that's a good part of being a director. What else of good things? Great cast.
Oh, it's a great
It's a
cast,
good-
man. Amy Adams is great as Lois Lane.
I do like her as Lois Lane. I really do. I think she is capable of embodying the kind of person Lois Lane is, and that's what I really enjoyed about her. Sure, some of her scenes were a little wonky because of the pacing of the movie, but when she's on screen, man, I really like enjoying her. I really
I
like
do.
enjoying her performance.
And I gotta say right now, man, I love Henry Cavill as Superman.
He's
so
Warner
much better
Bros. Did a
than
really
Brandon
good job
Routh.
at getting him to be Superman. I think he plays a really good Superman. I'm still wanting to see him play good Clark Kent. Like, I still want that good
But
balance.
we haven't
between
gotten to
Clark-
see it much.
Yeah,
We haven't gotten to see it much.
which is fair. I'm just waiting for that. But for right now, and for his first movie, I think he did a good job of embodying Superman while trying to figure out what Superman's supposed to stand for. And I think that's just a good job by Henry Cavill's acting. Who else do we have on that on the cast that's really good too? Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne's good as the runner of the Daily Planet. I mean, Michael Shannon was great as
Michael
Zod.
Shannon as Zod.
Russell Crowe's I like a lot as Papa, not Papa
Jor-El.
Papa Jor-El, Papa Kryptonian man.
Superman's dad.
Superman's Papacita.
Zod is another plus for me. I actually really like Michael Shannon's portrayal.
I
of
like
Zod.
anything Michael Shannon's in. Let's
True,
be real
yeah,
here. Michael
of
Shannon's
course.
fantastic.
But the reason why I love Zod so much is not only because of how terrifying he is, but also his motives. Like for a villain, he has reasonable moments that make you go, "Well, I can understand why you would do that." He wants to save his planet, and by doing that, he has to make sacrifices like destroying another planet. Does he want to? I don't know. I wasn't able to tell from that much, but I mean, it makes sense. You understand why he would want to do that. So that makes me really love Michael Shannon's version of Zod. Also, his right-hand man, Faora, I think her name is.
Yeah, she's great.
She is awesome. Like, she was one of
Or
my...
L or whatever.
Yeah, she is so fun to watch, because she is just... she is BA. She is fighting Superman, able to take him down. I enjoy her. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
No, I like her a lot, too. See, it's a good movie, man.
Alice, do you have other good things that you want to talk about?
No, man, I like the movie a lot. I think we hit most
the
of the
score?
best beats. Oh, the score! You're right.
You kept talking about the score through the whole movie. I was
love Hans Zimmer's score in this movie, man. I love it. I think it's one of the best scores we've ever had. I think it's, and not that it's the best, but I think you got to put it in the conversation. It's so good. It's so magical. Every time it came up, I was feeling emotions, got goosebumps. Like It's one of my favorite scores, personally. I love the score. As soon as the movie opens up, the score's playing, and I just love it. Just love it. You got any more?
Costume design is awesome, especially in
the Kryptonians look pretty good.
The Krypton scenes were awesome. I think the overall design of Krypton was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch Zack Snyder's movie about Krypton, to be honest, because I just think it just looks... It looks cool.
It's one of the things he does with style over substance. You maybe, you get the crappy lines like, well, he's hot. But you also get incredible detail in the costumes, in the creatures, in the CGI creatures, in the world of Krypton, even on Earth.
His cinematography is just so awesome, which is also, I think, one of the reasons why the action was so good is because it was shot so well, and you felt like all of these characters had such power that it was able to make up for such great action.
I agree with that, my man. So
So
I think we hit all the points, man. We
Yeah.
like Man of Steel a lot. We're ecstatic for Batman v Superman. Kyle,
Yeah.
we gotta rate that out of 10 though. What is your rating for the kiddos at home of Man of Steel out of 10?
Well, Kyle's fandom for Superman would make me like give it a 10 out of 10 or so, but I'm gonna see this as a movie rating. There are good things, there are bad things. I think the good things outweigh the bad things by a smidge, which makes it a good movie. So I think I could give it a safe rating of a 7.5 out of 10.
That's fair, man. I go an 8. I'd go an 8 out of 10. I think it's got problems, man, but I enjoy it. And I enjoy it. I understand the problems it's got as a film, as an artistic creation as a whole. Those are not enough to bump it up to a 9 or 10, man. But a 7.5, 8 range is perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
And we hit all the beats. There are things that aren't good with this movie. There are things that are really good with this movie, man.
One thing's for sure, Batman v Superman is in 10 days.
Yes! It's going to be good. We're hoping it's going to be good. We
It's
want
gonna
you
be
guys
good.
to go see it and give it a try. If you don't like Man of Steel, that's no reason to not go give another movie a try. That's unfair to that movie. And go try it. Maybe it makes you like Man of Steel more. You never know.
Maybe.
But we love Man of Steel. We like it a lot. It's a great time at the movies. And we are 100% fine with blowing through buildings. 100% fine. So
Hope people live, though. We
do want people to live, but we're excited to see Batman fight him. We're excited for the team up they're going to have with Wonder Woman.
We're excited for this whole universe to play out.
They're doing it the right way. Marvel had standalone movies, came together. They don't want to be Marvel, so what do? Have maybe 1 or 2 standalone movies, bring everybody together, and then do all the other standalone movies. It's perfect. We have gone way over time.
Half an hour.
Well, thanks for watching, Mom. We love you. Thanks for joining us here on Movie Meals. We'll catch you guys later.
I gotta finish my sandwich. Later.